Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So this is Transfer Daily, giving you the latest news of what's going on in regards to the transfers and all that, and giving you the latest news of what players are linked with Manchester United. So we do know it's looking likely 4 players are set to join Manchester United now, and that's obviously PSG's Thomas Meunier, Ajax's Matthias de Ligt, Sporting Lisbon's Bruno Fernandes, and Swansea City's Daniel James. So that them 4 players are looking very imminent to join Manchester United. So we do know, at least in the last couple of days, there has been a lot of speculation going on about Thomas Meunier from PSG, because obviously it's looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving PSG, is Thomas Meunier. So it does say Manchester United and Arsenal have inquired about his services. Both teams have made initial contact with PSG over the potential move. But I think it's looking very likely he could be coming to Manchester United, Thomas Meunier, because I think from his own perspective, his preferred destination is Manchester United, because obviously it did get revealed that Thomas Meunier has supported Manchester United, since he was a child, of course. I think reportedly he's rated at around £25 million. It did say set to join Manchester United mini deal with around £22 million. He's only got a year left on his deal with PSG, but we do know we've got issues defensively. Also, Arsenal have got issues defensively, of course. Obviously, it's going to be hard for Arsenal to get their number one targets this summer, because they're not in Champions League football for next season. It's obviously going to be hard for us to get players to elite level, because we're not in Champions League football for next season. Obviously, Arsenal were only restricted to loan signings back in January. We didn't sign anyone in January, and obviously reflecting back last summer, we didn't get as number one targets, because obviously the board weren't back in the signings that Jose Mourinho of course wanted to recommend to come in. But Thomas Meunier, I think, would be the right solution for Manchester United. He's 27 years of age. Obviously, hasn't played in the Premier League yet. He's predominantly a right back. He can also play in other positions, which is very, very beneficial. But I think predominantly a right back. Got goals in him, got assists in him. I think he's been at PSG now about 3 years. I think he's made about 101 appearances for Paris Saint-Germain. I think PSG paid around £5 million from Club Brugge back in 2016. But I think Umran himself has made initial contact, about getting a deal over the line for Thomas Meunier, because I think Umran may be keen on reuniting with the player, because actually Thomas Meunier found himself more of a regular starter when Umran was there, but since Umran has departed PSG, Thomas Meunier has found himself surplus to requirements, and probably this is the main factor reason why he has been linked to a move away from PSG. But reportedly he's set to join Manchester United, is Thomas Meunier. But there has been quite a few right backs on our agenda, as you all know, including Crystal Palace and Wan-Bissaka. But now I do believe, according to recent reports about Thomas Meunier, we have now prioritised Thomas Meunier over Wan-Bissaka. I still believe Wan-Bissaka is on Manchester United's agenda, because obviously he's been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. But I think it did come out last week saying that the quoted fee was around £60 million that Crystal Palace wanted, and I think this is a figure that Manchester United are reluctant, to currently pay. So looking at from a financial point of view, Thomas Meunier is a cheap alternative, and obviously Thomas Meunier is going to substantially cost us a lot less than Wan-Bissaka, and plus Thomas Meunier is a lot more experienced than Wan-Bissaka. But I still really like Wan-Bissaka a lot. He's proven in the Premier League. He's only been in Crystal Palace's senior squad about 15 months now. I think he's gone on to make about 40 senior appearances for Crystal Palace. I think he's got 3 years left on his contract with Palace. Obviously, so far, has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace, progressing up their youth system and all that. And obviously, at some point now, Wan-Bissaka's career, he'll want to take his career to the next level. Probably he'll want to go to a competitive elite level football club. He'll want to go to a team that can offer him a Champions League football and all that. But apparently, Crystal Palace want around 60 million, or is it 70 million? It came out last week saying that we had submitted a bid of around £25 million for Wan-Bissaka. But obviously, this figure's not going to be enough, to convince Crystal Palace to let him go. But he has been subjected to quite a lot of transfer speculation. I think the likes of Tottenham have been interested in him. Also, Manchester City have been interested in him, because I think he is predominantly right back now. I think when he was a lot younger, he was a winger. Now, obviously got rotated as a right back, but he is regarded as one of the best right backs in the Premier League. So he's only 21 years of age. He would fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recommend young players to Manchester United this summer. But now with the latest news about Thomas Meunier, I think we've prioritised him over Wan-Bissaka, because he's much cheaper solution. But I really, really like Meunier. Like I said, I think he'll be a great replacement for Antonio Valencia in our right back position, because obviously we know that Antonio Valencia is leaving the club. Obviously, he's served 10 years at Manchester United, but we don't know where his next destination is going to be. Obviously, he's going to be a good upgrade to Ashley Young as well as Thomas Meunier, and he's also going to be a good cover pair for Diego Dalot. So, according to recent reports, it's looking very imminent. He's set to join Manchester United. Don't get me wrong, a lot of this, could be coming from his agent. I don't think anything else has happened, but, Manchester United having talks and Arsenal having talks over this. Nothing has come to an agreement. It's just said Man United and Arsenal have been in talks over making a potential move for Thomas Meunier. So, it could be looking likely he's coming to Manchester United, and I think he's got all the attributes anyway, to succeed in the Premier League, without a shadow of a doubt. I think he's still got around at least 3 or 4 years left in him, so it is Manchester United and Arsenal that are battling out for his services. As I've been giving you an update about Adrien Rabiot from PSG, now from his own perspective, I think he wants to make the move to Liverpool, does Adrien Rabiot, because obviously he's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. It's obviously very imminent that he is going to be leaving PSG this summer, and obviously quite a few teams have inquired about his services. But the beneficial thing about this story is obviously no team would have to pay any transfer fee for Adrien Rabiot. No team would have to pay any transfer fee for him, because obviously he's coming to an end of his contract, and obviously you can get him on the free this summer. But a lot of reports were coming out from Spain last week, and I think it also including Mundo Deportivo. They were basically saying that Manchester United have offered him a lucrative contract, worth in the region of up to £170,000 a week. It also said the signing on fee was included of around £10 million a year. That obviously equates to around £170,000 a week. So it did initially say last week we were in the ascendancy of getting the player's signature, of course, but quite a lot of other teams have held negotiations, and that it does say Tottenham have been in for him. Juventus have also been in for him. I think also, Barcelona at one point were in for him, but I think Barcelona adopted him out of the race, based on the salary demands and the sign on fee. And I think a few teams have been put off by the salary demands and the sign on fee and all that, including Tottenham and Juventus. It also came out last week saying that Real Betis were interested as well, and also Arsenal have inquired about his services, because again, maybe Umran may be keen on reuniting with the player, because actually Adrien Rabiot actually flourished under Umran May's guidance, but since Umran May left, Adrien Rabiot has found himself surplus to requirements. So obviously Adrien Rabiot hasn't played for PSG since December of last year. He got withdrawn from the squad, by Thomas Tuchel, based on his refusal to sign a new contract. He's only 24 years of age. He's a central midfielder, is Adrien Rabiot. Obviously he has spent the majority of his career with PSG. I think he's been at PSG about 8 years, so he has been a long-serving player there. I think he's made over 200 appearances in all competitions. I think he has actually won 18 major honours so far with PSG, including 5 League One titles. Obviously, he had the spell with Manchester City when he was younger, so he has had experience of playing in Manchester. So there's a lot of teams in there for him, but at the moment, it still remains uncertain where Adrien Rabiot, will be applying his trade next season. But reporting now from his own perspective, he wants to make the move to Liverpool. But we do know, that midfield area is one of the priority areas, of course, where we do need to strengthen up. Like I said, I think we need a centre defensive midfielder. We need a replacement for Herrera, and obviously Adrien Rabiot would be the replacement for Herrera if he was to come to Manchester United. And of course, if Paul Pogba leaves, we're going to need a replacement for him. So if Paul Pogba leaves, like I said, I think we're going to need 3 new additions in that midfield, because we are lacking depth in that midfield. But yeah, there has been a lot of talks going on about Adrien Rabiot. Give you news about Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. It's looking very imminent. He's going to be coming to Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes, because it did say Manchester United want to finalise a deal for Bruno Fernandes sometime this week. Bruno Fernandes has come out in the press and admitted that he does like Liverpool, but we do know it has been Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling it out for Bruno Fernandes' services. But reportedly, I think we're set to get him in a deal worth around £70 million. Obviously, Manchester United are willing to offer more than Manchester City, because I think Manchester City are only willing to offer like £40 million for him. But it did say City willing to offer him a couple of their players as part of the deal. So according to a ball the Portuguese press, they are basically saying, we are emerging now as the front runners to get a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes, even though it initially came out sometime last week saying that City were emerged as the front runners, to currently get the player's signature. But Bruno Fernandes is primarily an attacking midfielder. I think he's 24 years of age, so he's still young. He has got a lot of years ahead of him, and I do believe believe, obviously, at some point in his career anyway, he's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level. And yes, I think he could be applying his trade in the Premier League next season. But I do believe he's got all the attributes and all the capabilities to succeed in the Premier League, and he'll definitely exceed expectation levels in the Premier League. Well, initially, Bruno Fernandes' release clause is around £86 million in his contract with Sporting Lisbon, but obviously Manchester United or Manchester City are not willing to trigger his current release clause. I think he's under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023, but I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United. I think it came out last week saying that he'd come out with an admission with Bruno Fernandes, and he had obviously give us an update on his future. Basically saying that he's unsure about his future. He's had a good couple of years with Sporting Lisbon, and he doesn't know if he's going to be leaving Sporting Lisbon. But he did deny having any negotiation with Manchester United over the potential move to Old Trafford. But he'd come to the Premier League, that hunger with that desire, and I think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield. He'd obviously bring us them goals that we need from that midfield because he's got goals. He's also got assists in him, so I think he'd be absolutely fantastic for Manchester United. But he has been on Manchester United's agenda for quite some time now. Obviously had a lot of experience playing in Italy when he was younger, the likes of San Pandora and Underneath and all that. So yeah, I think he'd be an absolutely fantastic player if he was to come to the Premier League. So he's moved to Manchester United now. He's looking very, very imminent indeed. So I think we're going to get him a deal worth around £70 million, because this is what we are prepared to pay to currently get a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. So I think this is set to be finalised sometime this week. And Bruno Fernandes, looking at, would actually, if Pogba was to leave, he would be the replacement for Paul Pogba, because Bruno Fernandes is primarily an attacking midfielder. Obviously, a player of Bruno Fernandes' calibre, the more attractive option for him probably would be Manchester City, because obviously at the moment City is strides ahead of us. They're winning trophies, they're competitive. Obviously, they've got Champions League football as well, so obviously that would be a more attractive option for Bruno Fernandes, but I think we are willing to outbid Manchester City, and we are set to win the race for the young 24-year-old Portuguese player, which is very, very good. As I have been giving you an update as well about Matthias de Ligt from Ajax, I think now we have identified him as our number one target, because obviously we do need a central defender. We need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line. I don't think his future has been fully decided yet, but it is looking very imminent that Matthias de Ligt is going to be leaving Ajax. It still remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season, but I think recent reports have said we are emerging as the front runners to get a deal over the line for Matthias de Ligt. I think he's set to inform Manchester United in the coming days about a decision on his future. Obviously, as it came out yesterday, the former Manchester United manager, Louis van Gaal, he came out and urged Matthias de Ligt, to make the move to Manchester City over Manchester United. But there has been a lot of teams that have inquired about his services, as you all know: Barcelona, Liverpool, Manchester City, us, PSG, Bayern Munich. So there's so many teams that have been in there for Matthias de Ligt, but it's still looking very, very likely he's going to be leaving Ajax. Obviously, was it reports that came out last week saying that talks had currently stalled between Matthias de Ligt and Barcelona? Obviously, the main reason why this occurred, because obviously Barcelona are not willing to increase the offer, and they're not willing to meet what de Ligt's demanding and what his agent Raiola is demanding. So obviously, they couldn't come to an agreement on the terms. But basically, Manchester United have made it clear, we are willing to outbid any other teams, for his to get a deal over the line for him. It did say willing to offer him a contract, worth up to £350,000 a week. This obviously equates to almost £17 million a year. And obviously, if this was actually to process, this would make Matthias de Ligt one of the highest paid players at the club. I think he'd be the second highest paid player at the club behind Alexis Sanchez. Obviously, making the highest paid teenager in world football as well. And maybe from Matthias de Ligt's perspective, this is probably a contract for him that is too good to turn down. I think in terms of the transfer fees, he's going to cost you probably around 70 or 75 million pounds or something like that. It did initially say Manchester United had put a bid in for him of around 70 million pounds. But we do know at least in the last couple of months it has been Barcelona that have been in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line for Matthias de Ligt. It only came out from Sky Sports, was it, the other week, saying that he's set to join Barcelona and all that, and his actual preferred destination of course was Barcelona. But obviously since then there has been a change of scenery since we have come up with this improved contract offer. It did initially say as well that Manchester United had ruled out the move, would withdrawn our interest in the player, because I think it did say we was too convinced that Matthias de Ligt was set to join Barcelona. There's still some reports saying that Barcelona are my favourites to get Matthias de Ligt, but I'd love Matthias de Ligt to definitely come to the Premier League. I think he'd be fantastic. He'd succeed in the Premier League, he'd exceed expectation levels in the Premier League, and he'd address our defensive deficiencies fantastically well. Only 19 years of age. only 19 years of age, so got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. Obviously, has become an integral part of Ajax's squad. I think he got named. I think he got given the captain's armband at just 18 years of age. I think he made his senior debut for Ajax at the age of 17. So I think he's had 3 years worth of experience now in their senior squad. I think he's made about 117 appearances for Ajax. But obviously, so far he has spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. I think he's been an Ajax player since the age of 8, the age of 9. But he has progressed up the ranks fantastically well. I think last year as well, Matty Stillett, won the Golden Boy award. But I think he would be absolutely fantastic for Manchester United. Matty Stillett also came out and admitted that he has several offers on the table, so he is aware of the speculation. But I think actually now we have identified him as our number one target. But nothing much more is updated about him. But when he does when his future gets clarified, then we will give you the news on that. But I think he's considering making a move to Manchester United. Even though we can't offer him Champions League football for next season, but we can definitely, if he comes to Manchester United, we can assure him first team football. Barcelona wouldn't be able to guarantee him first team football, and obviously we're willing to meet what what he's demanding, delay, and we're willing to meet what his agent Raiola is currently demanding. So yeah, I think we are now considered to be the favourites to get a deal over the line for Matty Stillett, but I do really like him a lot. As I would give you the update earlier on of what's going on with Romelu Lukaku, like I said, it's been looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving Manchester United, and like I said, it will be beneficial if we can cash in for Romelu Lukaku, because I think it will help us with our rebuilding process, and of course it will help us with our transition. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has blatantly told Romelu Lukaku he's surplus to requirements at Manchester United, and Manchester United I think told him last week that I can't leave the club. But yeah, we do know he's been heavily linked with a move to Inter Milan. But we do know Lukaku endured a very, very difficult time, in his second season with Manchester United, because we know mainly Rashford was first choice ahead of him. And obviously we need to get rid of Lukaku, because we can't, have him at Manchester United next season, because he isn't going to be assured first team football. Obviously Lukaku wants first team football week in, week out, and obviously if he was to stay next season, he wouldn't be guaranteed first team football, of course. So we do know Lukaku is destined to leave the club anyway. He's really, really destined to leave. He was talking about a while back about his dream of playing in the Serie A. Lukaku's agent had also, come out a while back saying that his future is very, very open. But now there's a possibility chance that Lukaku could remain at the football club, based on the huge transfer fee, we have put on him. But now, as he updated you earlier on, Lukaku's actual move now as well to Inter Milan also could be under threat, due to the financially fair play regulations of Inter Milan. Reportedly, Inter Milan have got to cash in around £40 million before the end of this month, to meet financial fair play regulations. So now, based on this could be also the stumbling block of Lukaku, making his move to Inter Milan. So reportedly, Inter Milan have got to cash in around £40 million before the end of this month, to meet financial fair play regulations. Also, Inter Milan are willing to offload a couple of their players to maybe fund the move for Romelu Lukaku. But reports came out towards the back end of last week, and they were saying the quoted fee was around £80 million that we did want. And obviously, this is a figure that Inter Milan are going to be reluctant to meet. So it said reportedly want around £80 million. So basically, we're looking to recoup the majority of the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago, because obviously, we paid £75 million for him from Everton. There were several add-ons including the deal of around £15 million. So it initially risen the deal to £90 million. Lukaku has still got 3 years left on his contract, and he's on about £250,000 a week with Manchester United. Obviously, Antonio Conte has identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target, because obviously he got appointed Inter Milan manager on Friday of last week, as you all know. But yeah, it says everything else has been agreed. It did say Inter Milan have agreed the personal terms with Romelu Lukaku. It also came out last week saying that Inter Milan have agreed a 5-year deal with Romelu Lukaku. And it also said Inter Milan are willing to meet his current wage demands. And it also said Romelu Lukaku is willing to take a pay cut to make his move to Inter Milan. But obviously, they haven't come to an agreement on initial fee. And I did say the fee would be the stumbling block in this, because obviously £80 million Inter Milan are not going to be willing to pay that. And now plus based on this financial fair play thing, this could be another stumbling block of Lukaku making his move to Inter Milan. But like I said, we've definitely got to get rid of him. Lukaku did well in his first season with Manchester United. He scored 27 goals in all competitions, but never really replicated that in his second season. But his ratio is still very, very good in the Premier League. His pedigree, still very, very good in the Premier League, of course. But we do need to currently get rid of him. But like I said, I think Inter Milan, are willing to offload a couple of their players. Icardi, I think Inter Milan, do actually, want to get rid of Icardi. There was talks a while back of Icardi as being, there was talks of Mario Icardi as being part of the deal with Romelu Lukaku, but I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on Mario Icardi. Obviously, it came out saying that Inter Milan were willing to offer £30 million plus Ivan Perisic for Romelu Lukaku, but obviously, Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target, as you all know. He was a long-term target under Jose Mourinho, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target. He's Ivan Perisic. I think if we're willing to let Lukaku go as part of any swap deal, we are actually demanding Inter Milan to Milan Skriniar, because obviously he's been a long-term target for Manchester United as Milan Skriniar. But yeah, I don't know what's going on at the moment. So reportedly now we want around £80 million, because maybe we still think his rate is worth around between £70 or £80 million, because he's actually in his prime. He's Lukaku. He's 26. He has still got a lot of development in him. But yeah, I've got reservations about him anyway. His footballing ability, his link-up play. He doesn't rise up to the occasions against the big teams. His first touch, really concerns me. He doesn't have that endless potential, Lukaku. So we've definitely got to get rid of him, because like I said, if we get rid of him, it'll help us with our rebuilding process, and of course it will help us with our transition. So obviously nothing yet has been fully finalised. As I've been giving you an update about Paul Pogba as well, there could be a possibility chance that Paul Pogba, could remain at the football club now. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how much of an imperative player Paul Pogba is, and I know he hasn't really exceeded expectation levels, since he has come at Manchester United. Paul Pogba, as we all thought he would have done, because he did have 4 great years in cheering with Juventus, but he hasn't really replicated this at Manchester United, of course. And Solskjaer's doing everything to try and convince him to stay at the club. Obviously, Solskjaer the other week offered him the captaincy to convince Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United, but we do believe this is obviously not going to be enough to convince Paul Pogba to remain at the football club. Obviously, we do know he's been heavily linked to a move to Real Madrid, and it's looking very imminent. He's going to be making his move to Real Madrid, but it had been looking very imminent, but based on the huge transfer fee we've put on him, there's a possibility now he could remain at the football club, even though, as I've updated you on, Real Madrid have come up with a new plan. But Paul Pogba's still got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United. We do know Paul Pogba's agent, Raiola, has been in the process now for at least over the month now of securing his move to Real Madrid, because obviously Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of the player. Zinedine Zidane has got a lot of players on his agenda this summer, because obviously players are set to leave Real Madrid, but obviously his 2 main targets, of course, are Paul Pogba and Chelsea's Eden Hazard. And actually, Zinedine Zidane has instructed his Real Madrid board, to prioritise a transfer for Paul Pogba. But yeah, initially Manchester United, don't want to sell him, but I think, we want around 150 or 160 million pounds for him. Obviously, this is a figure that Real Madrid are reluctant to currently meet. He did initially say, though, according to a lot of reports from Spain, last week, and I think it came out from a very reliable Spanish journalist saying that, Paul Pogba to Real Madrid is practically done and all that, and it did say Paul Pogba had agreed a massive pay cut, and he was happy for his salary to be reduced, each year. So he did say his salary was set to be reduced from 13 million to 10 million pounds, and so that's basically his wages. So it did say his wages were set to drop by around 3 million pounds a year, but obviously no, it's been fully finalised yet, because obviously they haven't come to an agreement on initial fee. There has still been reports saying that his former club Juventus are interested in re-signing him, but I think he's going to be making the move to Real Madrid if he does leave Paul Pogba. So now, as you all know, Real Madrid have come up with a new plan now to lure Paul Pogba away from Old Trafford. So reportedly Real Madrid are willing to offer up to 3 of their players, to sign Paul Pogba for Manchester United, because I don't think, the Real Madrid board and that, Florentino Perez isn't keen on a straight cash payment for Paul Pogba. So Real Madrid are willing to offer now up to 3 of their players. The 3 players that have been mentioned is obviously Gareth Bale, James Rodriguez and Keylor Navas. But like I said, I wouldn't want to see Gareth Bale as part of the deal with Paul Pogba. Like you all know, I've got strong reservations about Gareth Bale, and discarding Gareth Bale, discarding Bale as being part of any swap deal I wrote, Real Madrid would find it extremely difficult, to get rid of him permanently, based on his substantial wages. Of course, many teams wouldn't be able to afford him. And plus, discarding the swap deal, Real Madrid, would not recoup the initial £85 million that they did pay for him from Tottenham, back in 2013. Maybe Real Madrid would get 50 or 55 million pounds for him, but obviously, they wouldn't get, the 85 million pounds that they paid for him from Tottenham, back in 2013. Bale has still got 3 years left on his contract with Real Madrid, but I wouldn't want him now at Manchester United. I know the rumours have continued to persist, linking Bale with a move to Old Trafford, since 2013. So we've heard the rumours, since into the David Moyes era, but obviously it's never materialised. If you'd have asked me a couple of years ago, I probably would have took Gareth Bale at Manchester United, but I don't want him now. He's aging up, he's nearly 30, he's on the decline, he's too injury prone, and I think he's been inconsistent in his last couple of seasons with Real Madrid. I know Bale can play on the left, he can also play on the right, but like I said, I don't want him at Manchester United. Zinedine Zidane has obviously confirmed that he's no longer part of his plans with Real Madrid. He's also declared that Gareth Bale has no future at the club, so obviously there's no relationship now, between Zinedine Zidane and Gareth Bale. Don't get me wrong, there were rumours coming out the other week saying that he could make a return to the Premier League and he could make a return back to Tottenham and go out on loan to Tottenham. There was some reports saying that he could be, Real Madrid could let him go on the free, based on his substantial wages, because obviously he's on about £600,000 a week, is Gareth Bale. But like I said, I don't want him as part of the deal with Paul Pogba, so I think the vast majority of Manchester United fans, would agree with me on this. Obviously, James Rodriguez got mentioned as well. I don't mind James Rodriguez. I think he's pretty good. James Rodriguez still got a lot of development in him. Obviously, he's been on a 2-year loan spell with Bayern Munich as James Rodriguez. Like I said, I think he's an attacking midfielder. Also, can play as a winner. I think he's actually nearly 28 years of age now as James Rodriguez. Obviously, I think he joined Real Madrid in 2014. Obviously, had 3 years. And obviously joined Bayern Munich in 2017 on a 2-year loan spell. Of course, I haven't really watched James Rodriguez at Bayern Munich, so I can't really say how he's currently being playing. But I think Manchester United were in for James Rodriguez was it a couple of years ago, because obviously he was struggling to move away from Real Madrid. So yeah, he's reportedly Real Madrid willing to offer him as part of the deal, James Rodriguez. Also, Keylor Navas has been mentioned now. He's a goalkeeper, as you all know, and I think we'd actually see Keylor Navas as a potential replacement for David De Gea. So they are the 3 players that Real Madrid are reportedly willing to offer Manchester United. Also, Isco got mentioned as well, but like I said, I really like Isco. I think he's primarily attacking midfielder. I think throughout his playing career, he has played in various other positions, of course, as well as Isco, but I think he's predominantly an attacking midfielder. I just don't see I don't want him at Manchester United, because I just don't see how he would fit the system at Manchester United. Isco, if I'm going to be quite honest, he's highly experienced. He's 27. He has still got quite a lot of development in him, as Isco. I think he has spent the entirety of his career in Spain. He's been at Real Madrid now 6 years, and of course, won a lot of major honours with Real Madrid. As Isco, of course, including 4 Champions Leagues. I think he's played about 277. I think he's played about 277 games for Real Madrid, as Isco. But like I said, he's an attacking midfielder. I think Real Madrid paid around £30 million for him for Malaga back in 2013. Was it something like? I think it was £30 million, or it was just under £30 million. But I don't see how he'd fit Manchester United system. But disregarding Isco's being part of any swap deal or not, he's going to cost you over the £100 million anywhere. Is Isco. Obviously, he enjoyed a difficult time with Real Madrid last season, because obviously the majority of his appearances came on the bench last season. So this is why there has been rumours that Isco could leave Real Madrid this summer. But I don't think I'd want him at Manchester United. But he's also being mentioned. So Paul Pogba. So do you think Manchester United will be willing to go along with this about do you think Man United will take these 3 Real Madrid players, to lure Paul Pogba away? I don't know, to be quite honest, because obviously we don't want Gareth Bale, and I don't want Gareth Bale anyway. Maybe some people will have a different perspective on that anyway. So Paul Pogba, I still think could possibly be leaving Manchester United anyway. As I've been giving you my updates about David De Gea as well, more news is currently updated about him. Obviously, we do know PSG have attracted their interest in David De Gea. Obviously, Real Madrid have been long admirers of him. Reportedly now, the quoted fees around £75 million that Manchester United want for David De Gea. Potentially, it's looking very imminent that he's going to be leaving Manchester United after his refusal to sign a new contract. Obviously, it came out a week or 2 ago that he turned down the final contract offer for Manchester United. De Gea reportedly did say we were willing to offer him around he's demanding £350,000 a week. Is David De Gea? Well, reportedly, we are refusing to currently meet his wage demands and all that. So we're not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands. As I was just going to say, PSG are reportedly willing to offer £60 million. They are willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands reportedly. But like I said, we have been in the process, at least in the last 18 months, of trying to convince David De Gea to sign a new contract with the club. But like I said, he's been been a long servant here. You know, he's been here 8 years. He has made over 300 appearances for Manchester United in all competitions as David De Gea. Obviously won everything here domestically. You know, won the club's player of the year 4 times out of the last 6 years. But like I said, we've got to cash in for De Gea this summer because we can't let him go on a free transfer next year because that would be a calamity. You know, don't get me wrong. David De Gea at full value for the goalkeeper is worth £100 million, and Manchester United know that, but we know we're not going to get £100 million for De Gea. We're not going to get £100 million for De Gea because obviously he's in the final year of his contract. You know, PSG may be intending on trying to get him on the free next year, so that could tempt them, you know, to offer him a bigger salary, but we can't let David De Gea go on a free transfer next year. But I'm really, really disappointed about this because I want us to, you know, get him a new contract, but if we're not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands, well, it isn't currently, you know, going to happen. Obviously, you know, reflecting back to 2015, you know, Real Madrid were on the brink of getting, you know, David De Gea, but due to the fax machine, the deal never materialised, of course. So I think when De Gea leaves, you know, we're definitely going to need a replacement for him without a shadow of a doubt. We need to buy a goalkeeper to replace him. I don't think it's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, you know, to buy a goalkeeper to replace De Gea. I think he's willing to promote Sergio Romero as our number one goalkeeper. But like I said, I don't know if Sergio Romero at this moment in time is reliable enough, you know, to become our number one goalkeeper. Like I said, I know we've got Dean Henderson, but he's too inexperienced at the moment. He's been on loan with Sheffield United. I think he needs to gain a bit more experience, you know, Dean Henderson. I know we've got the likes of Lee Grant and all that. But yeah, we definitely need a replacement for David De Gea. And there has been quite a few names that have been mentioned, as you all know, as I give you an update on, was it a couple of weeks ago. But I think if De Gea leaves, he's going to be going to PSG. So reportedly now, we want around £75 million from him. So a PSG willing to pay £75 million for David De Gea. I do not know. As I've been giving you an update as well, I don't think I've updated you about him in the last couple of days, or I might have updated you about him in the last couple of days. It's about Nicolas Pepe from Lille. Now, it does say Manchester United and Liverpool are in for Nicolas Pepe, and this is, you know, actually coming from the Duncan Castles, who is a journalist, and he's saying that Manchester United and Liverpool have been in negotiations to sign Nicolas Pepe from Lille. Obviously, as it came out a couple of weeks ago, Lille's chairman confirmed that Nicolas Pepe will be leaving Lille this summer. Obviously, at the moment, it remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season. Nicolas Pepe, 24 years of age, so still got a lot of years ahead of him. He's been fantastic in his couple of seasons with Lille. Obviously, he's the obvious candidate for the right win for Manchester United, because obviously he's primarily a winner. He's Nicolas Pepe, but I do really, really like him a lot. So far, he has spent the entirety of his career in France He spent the entirety of his career in France as Nicolas Pepe, but he's been at Lille a couple of seasons. I think he's under contract with Lille until 2022. I think the quoted fee is around £70 million that Lille do want for him. So Manchester United and Liverpool would reportedly have to pay around £70 million for his current services. But he's got goals in him, he's got assists in him, and I think if he comes to the Premier League, it would be the next step for him, and he would exceed expectation levels very, very well in the Premier League. So obviously, Manchester United have also been in for him. I think also Arsenal have inquired about Nicolas Pepe's services in the last couple of months. Joe Felix as well, Manchester United target. Obviously, it's Manchester United and Manchester City that are in for Joe Felix. Obviously, only 19 years of age, but Manchester United have been scouting, Joe Felix, since January, I'd say. I think it's since January, Manchester United have been scouting, Joe Felix, reflecting on his impressive performances throughout the course of last season, with Benfica. It was only his first season in his senior squad with Benfica. He's not yet made his senior debut for Portugal. He can play primarily, plays an attacking midfielder, can also play as a winner, can also play as a striker and a secondary striker, so very, very versatile indeed. So I like Joe Felix a lot. But it is Manchester United and Manchester City that are in for him. Obviously, we do know he's going to... Obviously, I think if Benfica are willing to sell him, and they have made it clear that his current release clause has to be triggered, because I think his release clause is around 105 million in his deal with Benfica. I think from Joe Felix's perspective, he still remains uncertain about his future at the moment. But I think Benfica will only sell if Man United and Manchester City are willing to trigger his release clause. And I think Man United and Manchester City are willing to trigger, Joe Felix's release clause. So yeah, he's obviously been on Manchester United's agenda. Obviously, as well as I've been giving you an update about Toby Alderweireld from Tottenham. I think it did say last week, as I give me an update about Alderweireld, we are set to make a decision this week if we are going in for Alderweireld or not. Talking about Alderweireld, I don't think he's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, to be quite honest with you. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's keen on getting a deal over the line for him, even though he is available for a reasonable figure, is Toby Alderweireld, because his initial release clause is £25 million this summer. Obviously, he's refused to sign a new contract with Tottenham, but looking at it from a financial point of view, he's a much cheaper alternative than the likes of Napoli's Koulibaly, Leicester City's Harry Maguire and all that. He's a much cheaper alternative, but I've got reservations about him now myself, even though he's Premier League proven and all that. He's been in the Premier League a number of years. He's been at Tottenham about 4 seasons now, as Toby Alderweireld, but he's 30 now. Like I said, he has lost that yard of pace, so I have got strong reservations about him, but I still believe he would be a good upgrade in our defence, with Toby Alderweireld. So I think we are set to make a decision sometime this week. That's what it said last week in the media, but I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is intending on bringing him in. Like I said, I expect Matteo Darmian and Marcus Rojo to be leaving the club. An estimated guess we can get around 25 or 30 million pounds for Darmian and Rojo. Like I did say as well, with Sanchez, I think it's looking likely, he's going to be leaving the club, Alexis Sanchez. I think, he came out a couple of weeks ago saying that, Juventus and Inter Milan had expressed their interest. Obviously, Sanchez's agent had been in Italy. Obviously, we can't get rid of Sanchez permanently, based on his substantial wages. And like I said, he's on 400 grand a week, potentially rise up to 500 grand a week, based on image rights and the bonuses and all that. And like I said, his wages are having a really, really bad effect on the football club. So he's got to go because he's one of the problematic players at Manchester United. Like I said, Juan Mata, he's coming to an end of his contract. It's looking very imminent. He's going to be going because the club have failed to agree a contract extension for Juan Mata. But another problem with Manchester United, we have let far too many players' contracts run down, as you all know. So that's obviously been another issue. But like I said, at least in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations, he's going to be fighting for that top 4. Because I think the expectations for next season will be to get that top 4, probably win the Carabao Cup, maybe win the Europa League. Because I think we're at least 3 or 4 years off, from mounting any kind of title challenger. But it is very imperative indeed, that we do catch up with the likes of City and Liverpool, because obviously at the moment City and Liverpool are currently strides ahead of us, as you well know. And Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, because obviously, none of this squad's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's, and a lot of money has been spent at the club over the years. But like I said, any signings we do make this summer have got to fit the culture and the history of the club, and Solskjaer is looking to buy into our history, of course. And yes, like I said, £250 million should be enough to get us at least 5 players on the board. Obviously, we need a structural change at the club, and that's obviously definitely getting a director of football, and this needs to be done before the start of next season. Like I said, there has been quite a few names mentioned who could take that director's role at Manchester United, but there's a lot of problems at the club at the moment. There's cultural problems and that at the club that do need addressing out. So yeah, you can see the deficiencies in the squad, and there's so many players on Manchester United's agenda. So that's mainly everything to update today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing, as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.